Hello and welcome to another episode of our From the Helm series here at Bell Financial Group. I'm Grady Wulff, Senior Market Analyst with Bell Direct. Now, I'm so thrilled today to be joined by Howard Digby, Non-Executive Director of Elsight. Now, Elsight's a connectivity company that provides high bandwidth connectivity for drones. It has AI connectivity, so many different things that everyone is talking about right now. You really are having a blockbuster year. Howard, talk to me about the company, and for our investors who may not know the Elsight story, can you give us a brief overview to start with?
Well, thank you. It is a good time for us and for the investors who have been rewarded, whose patience has been rewarded.
Yeah.
We've worked very hard on this, and we are truly having a blockbuster year, as you said. Essentially, what does that mean, the communications piece? We are helping people that have certain assets. It could be a drone, it could be anything that needs to communicate and must not fail. You can think of defence and other applications.
Which is everywhere right now, and we've seen government spend increase in this space. So you're in quite a niche area at the moment of the defence space, in that your connectivity is what is relied on, whereas drones and other areas of the market are what we're seeing a lot of growth in, but there's not much growth in what you're doing, and you've brought along a prop today. Can you talk us through what this is?
So actually there's a lot of growth. There's three things happening. This is a card that goes in the asset. Let's say it's a drone, or let's say it's a soldier.
Anything.
It could be an ambulance. It could be anything that you cannot lose connection with.
Wow.
And the military spending is going up, as you know.
Yes.
But also a very large portion of that is in drones because of what they call the asymmetric battlefield.
Yes.
Right. And then another trend, which is sort of overlapping with that, is comms in general. Because of the connected battlefield, comms in general is growing. So on the defence side, comms is a very large part of defence budgets. In fact, it's almost 11%.
Exactly.
To some of the research.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, can you give us an update on Elsight's current financial position? Obviously, investors like to know exactly what's happening on the balance sheet and how growth is going. You are currently cash flow positive, which is a major milestone. Congratulations. Do you see that continuing as a path forward, and how's the balance sheet looking right now?
Yeah, well, so we have $2.3 million worth of cash. The big orders that we've won are profoundly cash flow positive. We get a big chunk of that up front. We don't have any sort of bottleneck when it comes to production. And the model itself is not just cash flow positive, it's a capital light model, which is very profitable.
Yes.
So we will tune that depending on our ability to grow and where we can put that investment.
Now, Elsight recently signed its biggest contract yet with a European drone manufacturer who supplies defence customers. Obviously, defence is where it's at right now for spend. Do you see growth in this sector and a lot of interest from the sector as you continue to make as you continue to make pathway into that sector?
Yes, especially that sector. I mean, our strategy is commercial and defence. We think commercial's much bigger, but it's a slower process, and I'll come back to that. But with defence, it's urgent. You know, people have needs right now. Governments have needs right now. This contract basically takes our revenue from something like $2 million US last year. It'll be at least 15 million this year, and that's not a forward statement. That's based on the orders we have now and are able to deliver. So that's one customer.
Wow.
So it's one OEM customer, meaning OEM is a company that makes the drones.
Yes.
Right, and then they've got a number of customers, and this is only from 2 of their customers.
Wow.
So it's only the beginning. So it's not just a new level in our business, it's an inflection point.
That is absolutely amazing. And obviously we love to see companies that have this, and so much time and effort and years have gone into the development of this product. So it's really good to see that growth is on the horizon, because a lot of companies are facing really tough headwinds right now. But Elsight, it is really the beginnings right now. No, tailwinds for you guys, but a lot of companies have headwinds. So it's really great to see. Now, given growth in the market, does Elsight have capacity to meet additional demand? Like at the moment, we're seeing demand is growing fundamentally right now, and the tailwinds are astronomical. So can you meet the demand that is needed of Elsight?
It's a very good question. We have totally prepared for this. So we've always believed in this, and we've been working on this for a long time. Our capacity right now, we can deliver about $70 million of product this year. So that we're ahead of the orders already. And we're taking that further so we can mitigate crises that happen. You know what's happening at the moment in Israel.
Yes.
So despite all this, we can deliver.
Yes.
Because of the model that we've set up and the redundancy built into our supply chain.
And where do you guys produce at the moment for our investors who are interested in geolocation, and do tariffs impact you at all?
Yeah, well, one thing I can say is we're not exposed to China.
Cool.
We have a number of different redundancies at different points. Our manufacturing also is a contract outsourcing model. and it's in a number of countries, and some of that is sensitive.
Yes.
But we thought way ahead of that. Our operations management is superb.
Can you explain what Elsight's Halo technical advantage is and what this means for our investors out there?
So you've seen this little card here.
Yes.
Very light power to weight ratio. It sits inside an asset. So a drone has to be light, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has a number of things where you can insert different types of communications channels.
Yeah.
And how do things communicate? Via radio frequency,
yes.
point to point, over the horizon.
Wi-Fi,
so that's Wi-Fi. It could be a GSM,
yep.
LTE, 5G. It could be satellite,
mm-hmm.
and that satellite could be what do you call that? Iridium, Starlink, Viasat. So we're carrier agnostic.
Yep.
There are companies that focus on communications and making it better, but that's on one channel,
mm-hmm.
and we can use their tech and then layer on top of it a logical layer where we combine all these channels.
Wow.
And so if something gets dropped or jammed or loses, connectivity, our system just moves between the channels.
So you have access
seamlessly.
at all times.
That's right, access at all times.
Wow.
It also helps with latency, optimizing bandwidth.
Yeah.
So you can think about defense is obviously important, but what about drone deliveries, first responders, people doing inspections of power lines?
Yeah.
There are so many applications.
You really can't be disconnected in the industries you operate in.
Correct.
That is amazing. How does the Halo advantage enable growth horizons for Elsight? Obviously, it's really put you above everyone else in that you don't lose connectivity. So how does that play to your advantage?
In many ways, actually, because I've been in the IT industry for 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in multinational companies. I've never seen a product that's so easy to implement. It's mostly done by the customer themselves. There's very low tech support load from us. That gives us a real advantage. I mean, you can't be calling tech support when you're in the battlefield, can you?
No.
But we certainly have a system that is very easy to deploy. That gives us an advantage. That shortens our sales cycles.
Yeah.
We can walk into a customer and very quickly generate the need and show the proof of value.
Mm-hmm.
They do most of that themselves.
Absolutely.
And as the repeat orders show, it works in the toughest of environments. That advantage also carries on to the actual customer, to their business, and making them superior to their competitors.
So what is the sales funnel like from the day they sign a contract to delivery of Elsight product?
So that varies between commercial and defence.
Yeah.
Commercial, we have a design win strategy. You've probably heard that term.
I have,
that means, like, for example, Intel it has a chip in an Acer laptop.
Yeah.
Right? And that bill of materials is set. They've done all the R&D and they've created that product. So they can't get rid of Intel until they have a new product.
Yeah.
Right? So we have a design win strategy where we're part of the drone.
Okay.
So as they're successful, we're successful.
Okay.
Now, there are 110 companies out there that have Halo in it.
Wow.
Drone companies. So as an investor, you might think, which drone? I love drones. Which drone platform do you invest in? Well, if you invest in Elsight, it's like a exposure to the whole industry.
Yeah.
It's almost like an ETF for the drone industry.
De-risks
your exposure. Yeah. So that's that's one factor. So that takes a long time, and as it goes and accelerates, then it takes a shorter time. Right.
Yeah.
That's the commercial side. On the defence side, though, the sales cycles are very short. We have some of these orders. We were introduced to the customer in October, and we got significant orders in April.
Wow.
And then we got follow-up orders.
So it's a short sales cycle.
Very short sales cycle. And that's sort of important in defence too.
And to investors, that turns into quite quick sales revenue, not year-on-year growth that's expected. So, well, it is year-on-year growth, but it's not taking years to get the money in the door.
That's right. And while this is happening and this is paying the bills, our commercial strategy of design win catches up.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, defence aside, what other areas of the market and thematics are you looking at? And is there growing demand in the unmanned vehicle space at the moment? And where are you seeing the growth potential and opportunities that you're targeting? Yeah,
so that's the key word that we're targeting. If you think about this communications technology, it can be in so many things. And the danger is we keep trying to do everything.
Yeah,
which we were for a while.
Yeah.
And this company decided that focus was the key.
Absolutely.
And the focus was on unmanned.
Unmanned,
right?
yeah.
Now, there's many niches in unmanned. The first biggest opportunity that we see and our customers are working on is drone delivery.
Yeah.
And then the next ones would be, and they are, inspections. Some companies offer a drone-in-the-box solution for all sorts of multi-purpose uses.
Yeah.
And then in the industry itself, we expect that to be turbocharged because President Trump in the US has just signed an executive order, essentially ordering the FAA to speed up the BVLOS, beyond the visual line of sight, regulatory framework.
Yeah.
So that'll charge the whole industry.
Yeah, exactly.
In the commercial sector.
While defence is growing and it's devastating the impacts right now, it is really positive for momentum for the growth and use of Elsight in the way that you connect many, many things on the ground and obviously around the world. So it's fantastic work.
Defence, remember this.
Yes.
Every time we see this, it started in 1915 in World War One, when that technology advances because of war. And we saw the airplane, which has only been invented 11 years before the war.
Wow.
And then after the war, the commercial sector, civilian sector leapfrogged
everywhere.
Ahead. And we expect this to happen to drones because of what's happening in the crucible of battle.
Oh, it makes sense, doesn't it? So now, Elsight has targeted the US and Japan for markets and market growth, and also Europe as well. What does the next 12 to 18 months look like for the geo spread of Elsight, and which areas are you targeting most aggressively?
Now, we'll continue to target those areas. I mean, we have a footprint all around the world. We're in every single continent. But, of course, it makes sense to put certain resources, limited resources or fixed resources into the best opportunity.
Yeah.
And the reason Europe is growing so much is mainly because of defence. But we have commercial design win partners in every continent. Japan is quite aggressive. They've got a good regulatory framework. So in the commercial sector, we'll see a lot of drone activity there. And in the US, it's spread between defence and commercial.
Amazing. Howard, thank you so much for your time today. And we're really excited to follow the Elsight journey over the next 12 months and beyond. And I hope you enjoyed that episode of From the Helm for Bell Financial Group. If you did, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.